New parts going on the Yaris. Finally, for the first time since it's been manual swapped, it is truly getting the treatment that it deserves. So I've got 3 gauges going in, a 19-row oil cooler kit, and 0 knowledge of how to install all of it. What's up? If you guys have been following the channel already, thank you so much. If you are new, you are probably in for a bit of a surprise because this is not a tutorial or a professional build blog or anything like that. There's probably going to be some mistakes. One of the mistakes that I don't want to make though with this car is overheating it or anything like that. So thanks to my buddies over at Nonstop Tuning, I have a 19-row oil cooler kit with an oil filter relocation kit. We're gonna be putting that in. I've also got 3 gauges from AEM. Electrical has been one of the things that really scares me about working on cars. You know, it's lightning. It's lightning in a little wire. That's scary. So I figured gauges would be a good place to start, and I figured these would be pretty straightforward, especially since we've got a new sandwich plate that'll let me connect up sensors for these oil temp gauges. This is gonna be hopefully very straightforward, but we'll see.
So the bad news is that the Yaris has a pretty small engine bay. But the good news is we've taken so many things out of it, like the AC compressor, that we got a great space for an oil cooler right here. Our oil filter was right at the bottom of the engine, which puts it really close to where we want our oil cooler. Almost too close. First, we gotta remove the old engine oil. Then we gotta remove the old oil filter. And for better access, we're gonna remove the front bumper as well.
This is a piece that is gonna go where our oil filter used to go. And then this one, we're gonna situate somewhere else. So that'll now have the filter on it and we can sit this anywhere in the engine bay. We're probably gonna set it somewhere up here so that filter changes can be done pretty quickly and easily. We've also got this 19-row oil cooler, and what this basically is a radiator in your oil system so that air can cool the oil so you're not overheating your engine. It's pretty simply just gonna run 3 lines. It's gonna run from the original oil filter to the cooler. Do I wanna cool before or after filtration? I don't know. I should figure that out.
While this may be a great spot for the oil cooler, we still have to mount it, which means marking out the holes and making sure that everything that would be in the way is clear.
Sometimes you just need the right tool. This wasn't working. This is one of my favorite wrenches. I try and use it all the time, but then it wasn't fitting, so I tried this. That was really slow. And I kind of, in my stupidity, forgot about sockets. Now all of a sudden this is going really quick. So the oil cooler isn't the only thing that's going in today. We've also got 3 gauges from AEM. Now, there's something that I've been wanting to do with the Yaris for a while because it's always had these aircon controls right here in a line. I pulled those out and I got some 52mm AEM gauges, and these are 54mm holes, so with a little bit of padding, those are gonna line up perfectly.
I figured the easiest and cheapest way to pad out these holes was to use some old vinyl I had lying around. so I decided to wrap the whole piece. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to a vinyl wrap job, but this is purely for function, not for fashion.
So I did kind of a shit job of vinyl wrapping, but the extra material was just enough to get these 52 millimeter gauges to fit in these 54 millimeter holes. And that was the ultimate goal. So I'm happy. I might clean it up a little bit later, but honestly, driving on a hot day will fix that a little bit more. But for now, these are ready to go in the car.
I got all the sensors fastened up to the sandwich plate and started looking for a place to relocate our oil filter. It's a pretty tight fit, but we managed to get it in there. But to run our oil cooler lines, we were going to have to remove the intake.
So I think it's going to be a quick trip to the parts store. I definitely need some right angle AN fittings, because this is not going to fly.
I found a better spot for the oil filter relocator that made it easier to access and easier to mount. It also made it easier to run the lines for the gauges. I just had to run them through the wheel well instead of running them through the firewall. The included lines are still really long for this engine bay, which isn't the biggest problem. It can still work. What is a problem is the angle at which these fittings need to connect up. So I need a new fitting and probably a shorter line.
Well, this is about as close as I got today. I think I'm gonna need to get a connection that's more reliable. So, it's a new day. The oil cooler is pretty much done. I'm missing one AN fitting, which means that I gotta wait for that part. So I got the battery in, and I'm trying to get power to those gauges now. I think I got a better ground figured out. There's so much stuff that was in that center console that has been taken out, so I can definitely find 3 individual power lines. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Hey! Look at that, it works. That took far too long.
I decided to put the door cards back in, seeing as one of the time attack classes I'm looking at requires a full front interior. I also got the air filter all cleaned up and remounted. With just 20 hours to go before our shakedown at autocross, the oil return line fittings arrived.
Go, first startup. So for some reason, front wheel is spinning even though I am in neutral. It just wants to get a little spin. Oh, that's a lot of oil leaks. Oh shit. Okay, so the place it is definitely leaking from is the oil relocation kit. I'm gonna pull that, tighten it down, make sure everything's done properly. I think it's probably just not that it's tight, it's not tight enough, because I don't think I double checked that. So hopefully that fixes it and we can get this on the road.
After rechecking every seal and every connection, we got the oil cooler kit to where it should have been in the first place, actually functioning and keeping our oil cool. All that was left to do was to get the car buttoned up and back on the ground, ready to go out for a shakedown run. So, a bit of a moment of truth here. Just did a couple miles up and down with the Yaris on the freeway, off the freeway, getting it to max pressure, getting it to max temperature, and we have officially got no leaks. Well, we kind of have some leaks. We don't have leaks where we thought we were gonna have leaks, which is great. Just a little bit of dampness around some of the seals, and honestly, I'm fine to run like that.
Oh, that came down to the wire. All right, that is it. The Yaris is out of here, ready for autocross tomorrow. It's not perfect yet. It's still leaking just the tiniest little bits. If I come back tomorrow morning and I see a big oil spill underneath, then I guess I'm not taking the Yaris to autocross. But that'll be it for this video. I'll post some of the autocross footage as well when that happens. Thank you guys so much for checking it out and following this tiny little hatchback build because, you know, why not, right? Thanks again, you guys. Check me out on Instagram @startingstock. Also check out Donut for stuff that I may have touched or may have worked on. If you guys are looking at this channel and you don't know what Donut is, I'm very confused how you ended up here. There's also G4. G4, I work at a place called G4 as well, so you can check out that place for some quality content as well. And you know what? I think I'm gonna make another video.